It's cold outside.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the low 20s this morning.
It was just barely 20. It was when I looked this morning when we first woke up at 6 o'clock. And that's something else too. You know, a lot of people think whenever they see us at
Actually, we
rendezvous.
woke up at 5:30 this
Yeah, we did. But a lot of people think, you know, I've just got to throw this out here.
Okay.
A lot of people think that we always sleep in, sleep late, because when we're at rendezvous and things like that,
Well,
we don't,
when we're anywhere, we don't come out
yeah,
until
no,
10.
we don't show our faces till at least 10.
Yep.
Maybe a little.
Maybe sometimes later.
Hey, we actually wake up around 6 o'clock, right? Yeah.
Now, coffee pot goes off at 6. The last couple of 3 mornings, we woke up before that and
Yeah.
turned the coffee pot on earlier.
We have. Yeah. Well, we're trying to get acclimated to this new, you know, and we've talked about this the last time, you know, we had to go through the time change back to, I call it dark time
Dark time.
instead of standard time. Well, standard dark time. But anyway, you know, it takes a while to get acclimated. But we're usually drinking coffee by 6:30 every
Yes,
morning.
at the very
It's
least.
just that, hey, we're laying in bed, watching YouTube, watching our favorite YouTube channels, and getting caught up on stuff.
Exactly. That's as I explained to somebody here a while back, that's our time.
Yeah.
We wake up, we drink coffee, we talk, we discuss the latest in the news, we discuss the weather, we pay bills.
Yeah, we do that too.
It's our time.
Yeah, we do that too. We got several comments lately because we did a playlist. You know, all of our walkthrough videos are on a playlist. And by the way, there'll be another walkthrough video coming out this upcoming weekend. So be looking forward to that. And you're going to really like this one. This one's really, really cool.
Love them.
Oh, we do. But this one, among all the others, you're going to really like this one as well. But be looking forward to that. But we get a lot of questions here recently on laying out the trailer, you know, laying out their floor plan, tongue weights and things like that.
How big to go?
Yeah, how big to go, how small they can go, tow rig stuff. And we've talked a little bit about these subjects in the past. And but right now, what we're going to do, we're going to start at the basics on certain things. And
Pretty much what we did.
yeah.
This is what
But
we
let
did.
let me do something first, and I meant to have that up here so I could see it, but I'll make sure they can see it. Let me find it here because I have saved this. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. A lot of people are wanting to know about tongue weight, how much a trailer weighs, things like that. And what is really helpful is when you know what your trailer weighs when you pick it up. And Renowned Cargo Trailer Sales, which is a company down in
Douglas, Georgia.
Yeah, for some reason I can't remember Douglas today. But down in Douglas, Georgia, Renowned Cargo Trailers, they have this wonderful chart. And the chart itself starts off with a 6x12 standard single axle trailer. Tells you what the empty weight is when you pick it up, tongue weight, maximum load capacity with a 3,500 pound axle, and it starts from there and just continues to go on up to the biggest trailer they offer. So, but for instance, an 8.5 by 20, they show it to be roughly around 3,200 pounds when you pick it up. And this is on a real easy to read chart. And I'm going to share a link with you on this, and it'll be in the description and in a pinned comment, which will be the very first comment in the comment thread. If you can't find where the description of the video is, just simply look at the very first comment in the comment thread, and there the link will be. But on an 8.5 by 20, which is a pretty popular size for lots of folks, it starts out weight at 3,200 pounds. The tongue weight is 480 pounds. If you're going with tandem 3,500, no, if you're going with tandem 3,500 pound axles on an 8.5 by 20, you have a load capacity of 3,800 pounds on top of what the trailer weighs, and so on and so forth. And then it goes into what kind of load capacity you would have if you went with 5,200 pound axles, and also it goes all the way up on these larger trailers to with 7,000 pound axles. Some will opt for 7,000 pound axles, but I will share a link to this chart, and it covers every size trailer that most would be interested in building. So be sure and check out that link, because all that information is there, and it'll make it really easy. Now, what a lot of people don't know, and we have talked about this in the past, but a lot of people don't realize that if you order your trailer like through, there's several different manufacturers in Douglas, Georgia, and also in other parts of the country as well. And a lot of these different manufacturers will spec build the trailer the way you want. And they'll put the doors where you want them. They'll go with a ramp in the back. They'll go with barn doors if you want barn doors. They'll go with no ramp or no barn doors in the back, which is what we did. All these options are available to you. They'll put windows where you want them.
Or leave windows out, which is what we opted.
Exactly.
We opted.
So all the options are there. Now, what I've got splashed up on the screen right now is a basic drawing that we did, and this drawing is to scale. Anybody can do this sort of thing. And we got graph paper that you can go buy at Walmart or anywhere. Got graph paper and drew this out to scale. Now, our trailer is an 8.5 by 20. Now, we already knew that the interior dimensions, after we did the insulation we did on the walls, we knew that our interior width will end up being real close to 8 feet. So when I drew this out to scale, I drew it 8 feet wide, but it still had the basic measurements that they needed to put the items where I wanted to put them. And so I drew a box 8 feet wide by 20 feet long, and I used 2 squares per foot. So each little square on the graph paper that I used represented 6 inches. So this is the way I did it, and it's real easy to tell. And as you're looking at this, you can see the dotted lines that run across that. So we went with the standard roof bows on top, which they have them at 24-inch centers with the standard roof bows on top. So I drew them in as dotted lines. Then I showed exactly where I wanted the ceiling vent in the front. And then I showed exactly where I wanted the ceiling vent or roof vent in the rear. And you notice that the one in the rear is offset. And there was a reason for that, because I knew that I would be building a partition wall roughly 4 foot in from the back of the trailer that would come out around 5 foot. And I wanted the ceiling vent, because we used a MaxxAir fan back there. I wanted it to be able to draw around that wall instead of having, allowing the wall to block the flow. I wanted to have this ceiling vent over to one side where it would have a clear shot all the way to the front of the trailer when we're running the MaxxAir fan. So that's why you see that. But I drew all these in here, put all the pertinent measurements in there if you look closely. And then, of course, on ours, we have 2 side doors. We eliminated the ramp in the back. So I drew in from the back and then made notes exactly where I wanted them to get this measurement from, to where I wanted the back door to be, and then also where I wanted the front side door to be, and gave them the measurements and made notes here to show them where I wanted them to start measuring from to arrive at this spot where I wanted the doors. And this was based on our basic design that we had figured out.
I was going to say, first we did our basic design.
Yeah, it was, basic design.
First, we did the very same thing on graph paper.
Yeah.
But laid out how we wanted our home to be designed, or what we thought our concept was. We made a few changes as we went.
Yeah.
But first we had to come up with, okay, this is what our design is. This is our priorities. that was something I discussed with a lady just not very long ago. Our priorities. Everyone has different priorities.
Yeah.
Our priorities was a decent sized shower. We wanted our queen size bed. We wanted a place to cook inside because the last thing I want to do is fight with the elements, like when it's too cold, or bugs to cook outside. I prefer cooking inside on those days.
Yeah.
We wanted a decent sized refrigerator because we had dealt with a smaller one before and it wasn't adequate enough.
Well, we live in our trailer.
Yes, that's our next part. We live in our trailers. So we had to come up with, so that would be my first suggestion for folks.
Yeah.
Come up with your priorities.
Right.
What are your priorities? What are the things that you just know you have to have, whether it's for a weekend, a month, or full time?
Right.
And then you draw it.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to point out on basic measurements that will always remain the same, especially on an 8.5 wide trailer. On an 8.5 wide trailer, you have to deal with the fender wells. And the fender wells themselves, and we know this because years and years ago, we did a video where we actually went into a retail trailer lot.
And measure.
And we got basic measurements on the 3 most popular sizes, which back then, and it's probably still the most popular sizes, which would be a 6 by 12, a 7 by 16, and an 8.5 by 20. And on the 8.5 wides, of course, you've got the fender wells that are on the inside. Well, the one thing about axle center line, let's talk about the axle center line first. The axle center line on a cargo trailer is going to be 60% back from the beginning of the square box itself. Not 60% back from the tip of the V, but 60% back from the beginning of the square box, which would be right where the V starts if you were going to go forward from there. So all you got to do, if you got a 20-foot trailer, you take 20 feet, multiply it times 0.6, and that will tell you where the axle center line will be from the manufacturer, whether it be a single axle, tandem axle, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then you can real easily, to scale, put that fender well where it's going to be. Now, the fender wells themselves, if memory serves me correctly, and I think I'm correct on this, the fender well will measure 6 feet long.
Yes.
So you determine where the axle center line is going to be and start at that. So
on a tandem. And they're 6 inches wide.
Roughly 6 inches deep.
And 9 inches tall.
No, about 8. About 8 tall.
With the 8.
Yeah, 8 tall. So about 6 inches wide. Some of them might be 8 inches wide, but you're real close in that number. But the main thing is figuring where the axle center line is, so you can start at the center and draw 3 feet towards the front, 3 feet towards the back if you're getting a tandem axle trailer. And then that is where your fender well is going to land.
And there's no getting around that. They are there.
Yeah. Yeah,
you got to deal with it.
So then you have to deal with it. And of course, we dealt with ours by putting our bed there and having a step-up platform, which served a number of purposes by having this step-up platform. So the one reason why we have the step-up at our bed is because it's just barely above the axle. You know, it lays on top of the fender wells, but it also gave us chaseways, raceways, whoever wants to run wiring from one side of the trailer to the other and all that good stuff. But here's something that I want to point out. When I gave them all these measurements here, like where I needed the doors, and this is all based on where we knew the cabinets were going to come to and things like this from other things that we've been figuring, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. When I gave them all these measurements there at the dealership, which was the manufacturer, which was Rock Solid, who built our trailer, Rock Solid in Douglas, Georgia, they were within a half inch.
Yeah, they
or
were
less,
really close.
Yeah,
to what we had
to
seen.
all the measurements, and that's another thing too. You need to make allowances for those things.
Well, sure.
Yeah, don't expect them to be exactly right on the money. So in your design, have it laid out to a point where you can fudge a little bit here and there, you know, to make up. But they got very, very close. in landing these where they needed to be. And I was very impressed with that. Now, we both were,
Yes, yes,
weren't we?
absolutely.
Now, let's move on. What we also did, then we also drew out, which we were talking about a little bit earlier, and this is what you're looking at now. This is the basic design, and you can see how we drew where the bed was, and in our case, our bed is a queen, a real queen, which a real queen bed is 60 inches wide and 80 inches long. And we knew also by running the bed east and west or from side to side in the trailer that we would still have enough room, even a big guy like me, to walk across the foot of the bed on the floor, not stepping on the bed, to get back to the bathroom. And we knew that we wanted a 4-foot shower, so that was a given back there, that the shower, of course, would be 4 foot long. And the way you can double check those things.
I was going to say, I thought most of what created this whole thing was the
Right.
shower.
The shower. In a way, really, we started to figure, okay, can we have a 4-foot shower?
And let's put the shower in and then see if everything else works.
See if everything will work, and most importantly, we had to make sure that it would work with the fender wells being where they were.
Exactly.
And all that stuff. And so we drew the shower in actually first and then kind of went forward from there to see how large we could make the kitchen area and things like this. Now, in this design, if you're real familiar with our finished design in the trailer, in what you see here, you see where the fridge in the drawing here is just to the right of the front side door. And of course, the fridge did not end up there. When we were building it and we were living in it while we were building it, basically what we did, we got this thing up to where we could take a shower, go to the bathroom, and sleep.
Yes, that was it.
That was it. And so that's all we had. And even in the shower itself, we only had one wall done with FRP. The rest of the walls were lined with clear shower curtains.
Yeah, I just tacked shower curtains.
Yeah, we just
Cheap
tacked up
plastic
shower curtains around the wall to protect the paneling back there until we could finish out the shower the way we wanted. And being able to go to the potty at first consisted of a bucket and a bag of pine pellets.
Yeah.
So, and then we worked from there, and got it to where we have
And we
it
had
today.
the fridge sitting where
Right.
it was designed to sit.
Right.
And we were laying in bed one morning in our usual discussing the day thing. And it was like, I just don't like that refrigerator there. It
Right.
makes it feel blocked in. And so Bill says, well, let's try it in the V. Or I said, I don't remember which one of us, but that's where we ended
I
up
think
with
you said, I don't like it there. I want to try it here. And I reluctantly said,
it. Okay, that's the way it
Okay.
works. See, he just argued with me, but now we like it that way.
so yeah. But now another thing you can do when you're doing these things, let's say you want to see if this appliance will fit here, this appliance will fit there, so on and so forth. When you research these appliances on the internet, wherever you're going to be buying them, when you go through the list of specs, it will show the dimensions of the appliance.
Yes.
So it's real easy to do. You can draw out your drawing to scale. And then you can say, okay, I would like to put the refrigerator here. I'd like to put this here or that there. The dimensions will be in the list of specs. In most cases, you can literally take scrap pieces of graph
And
paper.
make your own little furniture.
Make your own little footprints
Move it all.
and slide it all around to see where it's going to fit.
We did that too.
Yeah. Now, another thing you have to keep in mind, though, when you're laying this out, which I see so many people not think about this part, be sure and make allowances for every wall you put in. I see a lot of people say, well, okay, I'm going to put this here, and there'll be a wall here. But when in their measurements, they don't allow for the thickness of the wall.
Yes.
And
We
when
had to allow a 5-inch wall by the shower instead of a 4-inch.
right. Well, and
And every inch is important.
I was running plumbing in there. There were several things that I was running in that wall, and I wanted to have plenty of room for everything to work in that wall. But depending on how many walls you build in your trailer, you have got to remember
Those take
if that
space.
wall is going to be 2 inches thick, you've got to allow for that 2 inches, before you can say, okay, I'm going to put a 4 foot couch here. Well, after you build a 2 inch wall on either side, and they'll, well, how come the couch won't
Right.
fit? So be sure and figure that in there. But it's easy. We make little footprints out of the same scale with your graph paper. When you get the dimensions of certain things, we want to make sure they're going to fit there. If you're looking at maybe using this particular couch or this fold up studio couch or whatever, it'll have the dimensions of it. Make a footprint and then see if it's going to work where you want it to, and then be sure and allow, if you're going to have a little partition on either side, allow for the thickness of whatever that little partition is going to be.
Right. All those
Yeah.
things come in. When you're dealing in
Yes.
these small areas, all of that comes to
Yeah.
play very much so. Because also you'll notice on this that I was originally going to have a pantry.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't have a pantry.
Pantry didn't work. It didn't come out the way we thought.
Instead, I got a 35-inch sink.
Yeah. Well, that's one reason why she doesn't have a pantry.
Oh,
Uh,
I decided what was more important.
did I say that? So yeah, and you'll notice on this it shows couch with a question mark. Well, the couch wouldn't work. We ended up with a 4 foot opening here rather than opening. We figured originally to have a 5 foot long couch there possibly, and it didn't work out.
And a bench would work, but we just
Yeah, and we used to have a wicker couch, like an outdoor wicker couch.
we could pull in and out.
That we could, and I wouldn't mind even going back to that one day. And this tabletop here is made to hinge down flat, so we could, if we wanted to, stick a wicker
And who
couch in
knows,
here.
we might.
We might.
Or I might get a big 3-foot recliner and
Well, the reason why we like the idea of a wicker couch is because they weigh practically nothing,
yes.
and it's real easy to
And that's the other thing
carry
is
with
weight
us.
of
Yeah.
what you bring into your build.
And that's another thing too, when you're looking up all these items, because a lot of people ask about, what about weight? How do I figure weight here, weight there? All these items that you want to put in there in the list of specs on the internet, when you're looking these items up, they will show a weight. So figure that weight in there and where you're going to be placing it, in the trailer.
We even figured the weight of our lap.
Of our ceiling
boards.
material, because it'll show how much it weighs. Everything will show how much it weighs. You can look up the weight of plywood. You can look up the weight of 1/2 inch plywood, 3/8 plywood, for 3/8 plywood, wherever you want, per 4x8 sheet. They'll tell you how much it weighs per 4x8 sheet. Then convert that over into square footage, and then figure, okay, I'll have this many square feet at X amount of pounds per square foot. Of this and this and this, and that will help you determine what the weight of all this stuff will be. And you're not going to be accurate right down to the T, but you can certainly get awful close if you do your due diligence, because all the information is out there available to you on all this. You can simply go in and type in how much does a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood weigh. I did that a couple of days ago when Deb and I were arguing about how heavy the cabinet was that we built for the battery bank that that's going in the van, and it it was right there. It took me a minute.
Stupid internet.
So, but all that stuff is available to you. Every bit of it. Every bit of it's available to you. Weights and everything. So, yeah. Now, one thing that, let me find it here. Now, this one here. One thing that one of our followers did for us, based on some of our original drawings, he went ahead and did what do they call this?
SketchUp, I believe.
Yeah, he used SketchUp
To do a
and did,
3D.
and did this. I have tried playing with SketchUp.
Me too. I would
yeah.
love to learn it.
And that's the problem. I haven't spent enough time doing it. But he gave us a rendering of our original design here.
Yep.
And that helped us a bunch right there, just to be able to look at that.
It kind of gives you a visual.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like, so many people that we have done walkthroughs on said that they had a concept in mind, but then they went ahead and took it out for a weekend.
Uh-huh.
and brought it back and decided that won't work. This will work. And I guess that's kind of what, when we were living in it while we were building it, originally we had one concept, but the actual reality of it made us change a few things. Basically, not a lot, but we changed a couple of things.
Yeah.
Like we were going to have a step down from the bed into the bathroom, then a step back up because of the shower drain.
Yeah.
And we decided in a 3-foot space, that's too many steps.
Right. It's too much to step down and turn around and step back up.
So we changed that. Then we changed the location of the fridge. We changed windows. In his schematic, he had windows behind the bed. No windows there because curtains just get in my way.
Yeah. We had a window behind us in our trailer before that, and the curtains just created issues.
It was just a problem.
Because, we toss and turn a lot. Well, I do.
So, and I don't know if we've answered all of y'all's questions, but this is what we did. And are we happy in our current design? There's only one thing I would do different.
What is that?
I would have in the V, I would have gone ahead and blocked the V off with access from the outside through a hatch door.
Right. Yeah, we wish we would have thought about it at the time, but there's some wasted space.
Well, it's not wasted.
It's not really wasted, but it's just really hard to access it. There's some space back in the far back corner, and it's kind of hard to explain, but in the far back corner of each side of the V, it's hard to get in there.
You have to be a contortionist to get in there.
To get in there to store stuff. So there's stuff stuck back there that we only need now and then, and most of the time we even forget we got it.
No, I know where it's back there.
Okay.
But it's difficult to get to.
Had we have went ahead in our initial part of the build when we were, framing out spots for the windows and things like that, if we would have went ahead and installed a couple of hatches right there,
it would have made a world of difference.
Just to be able to have that.
And I have a friend that keeps telling me we can do it now. You are.
Yeah. And we can do it. Yes, we can. And we might. Something there.
That would be the only thing that I can really think of that I would have done differently on this build.
Yeah.
Because we have that question sometimes too.
Yeah. Do you think maybe we've confused everybody enough for right now?
No. Something we noticed right before we started this video?
What? What was that? We're less than 300 subscribers away from 50,000 subscribers. And
dreamed.
Yeah. So, and we don't normally come out and point blank ask. We have our little video things that we pop up at the beginning and end of the videos. But we're going to ask.
We'd really like to be there before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'd like to be there at 50,000. That would be pretty cool for us.
Yes, it would.
So, anyway. And if anybody else has any other things they would like for us to cover, and we'd be more than happy to cover that in another video. But anyway, this is just basic stuff to get you started, because we've got a lot of new interest in cargo conversions ever since we turned all of our cargo trailer walkthrough videos and put them all in a playlist. Now we've got a lot of people binge watching those, and then all of a sudden they have a lot of questions, and it's piqued some interest that wasn't there before. So anything that we can do to help when it comes to that, we hope you found this of interest. Hope this is helpful to you. So you know exactly what we're going to say right now. We're not camping.
We are living.
Y'all get out there, do some living, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.